Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie. We're back in the desert in Benson, Arizona.
Well, today it is 64 degrees as we're tasting this. It feels way hotter than that.
Sun, man!
This Arizona sun is baking me. I will be lucky if I haven't turned into leather by the end of this tasting. But if it's your first time joining us for 5 Sip Friday, we nose the glass, take 5 sips, try and figure out what the heck we're drinking, say whether or not we like it, and ultimately it is revealed. Today's sample comes to us from our friend RussD.
I knows that while you were talking. Sorry for the long pause.
Oh, okay,
I
start.
knows that while we were talking. And right out of the gate, I was like, I wonder if this is high wire distilling. There's something very familiar about this that we just had.
Something so familiar. Now you're in my head, so thank you very much.
And that was just on the nose.
What do you think the D stands for in RussD? Dude?
Debonair.
Yeah, debonair dude. All right. Well, on the nose, let's give a couple of tasting notes. I think that there's some leather here for sure.
I got a lot of hay.
Okay.
So Phil got leather, but which kind of makes sense. It kind of smells almost a little barnyardy.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's
a little crafty,
there's
for
a
sure.
little bit of a farm quality to the nose for me.
It doesn't have a ton of dark notes or anything like that. I think that this is going to be fairly easy drinking that we're getting into today.
To me, this screams like grain,
Yeah.
hay, farminess, bright, but just not your general, regular, traditional flavors.
Yeah, not major distillery bourbon or
No.
something like that. Hey, let's get on with the tasting then, because I think we're both ready.
I don't know. I'm a little scared about this one.
Well, let's start the weekend.
Cheers. Thanks, RussD. Chocolatey with a grain presence. So I got a little bit of that hay, but it's chocolatey and almost a bit ashy.
There's a leathery presence here on the palate too. Interesting whiskey this. I want to sip more of it. It's an inviting whiskey. I want to get back into it.
This is dig into it and find out.
Yeah.
This is let's chat about this one. Whiskey.
Yeah, it's not overly proofy. One thing that I do want to say, there's a salinity here. There's a saltiness to this whiskey, which you mentioned high wire.
Yeah.
We know that they're aging their barrels kind of right on the water in the old Navy shipyard. And they even mentioned that they're getting sort of a salinity that they're finding more and more in their barrels. I wonder if that's exactly what we're tasting.
I got into your head.
Yeah, way in there. I'll never get that idea out of there now.
The nose is really interesting.
Yeah. Let's have sip number 2.
Yeah,
I just want more.
Yeah. So on that sip, a lot of those like real pungent flavors that I was getting on one, that the more grain, the more hay that I was getting, a lot more subtle. I am getting a little bit of tobacco though. There is a little bit of leftover cigar smoke or something on the finish.
Yeah, it's hints of things, right? The leather, the tobacco, and the ashiness, like you said, the saltiness, the brininess that's showing up here. Very surprising. Didn't expect that at all from the nose. Of course, from the nose, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Interesting whiskey here. That's probably the note that we've said over and over now. Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I say that every time we do a 5 sip, so I apologize. I'll start looking up some more adjectives, but sip number 3.
Yeah. I'm watching a hawk hunting up here. He's just circling.
As long as you're not hunting Mavis.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if he's waiting for me to pass out from the heat. Okay, I will say this about the things that Russ has sent us lately. Lots of Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina distilleries. He's a big proponent of his local distilleries.
It too.
Everybody should be, honestly.
Yes.
Take pride in your local distilleries. We love that Russ does that and shares those whiskeys with us. I want to say, what was that, 3 sips?
Yeah.
I want to say, I don't know if I'm loving this, but I'm enjoying the thrill of a whiskey I've never tried before.
Exactly.
I think, and that's what it is. It's something so interesting, so unique.
It's more exploratory.
It is, and I can't wait to find out what it is, because it's one of those whiskeys that, no matter how this tasting ends up, it's a distillery that I want to learn more about. It's something that I want to try more whiskeys from. I want to enjoy even maybe more of this one because it's so unique, so different. I could see an instance where I'm like, I want to try a whiskey with a little bit of a salt presence on it. Scotch can be that way. A lot of them aged by the sea, you get that salinity. That can be a nice flavor that comes into play. And I think that's happening here. I really do. So odd though.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm starting to think now that we're going to sip 4, I got to think about proof, and I got to think about type, and I got to think about age and all that kind of stuff. And this one's throwing me a bit because it doesn't really taste like anything we've ever had before.
I'm starting to think that too.
Really, but let's go into sip number 4.
Yeah. Cracker meal. The cornmeal on the nose and the palate here.
Yeah, and I was thinking a little bit of sweet corn, like that sweetness comes from maybe a corn presence.
Yeah. We just had some creamed corn last week at Terry Black's Barbecue in Austin.
Oh my gosh.
How good was that?
Oh, this is so good. Real barbecue, come on.
Yeah, now I just want to talk about some creamed corn.
Yeah.
Should have done a tasting on that.
It's weird that the finish has this kind of flavor, like that predominantly it's not smoky, but like ashy cigar is the predominant finish that I'm getting versus something that maybe sweet or sugary. But I like it.
I think there's almost like a coppery presence. It's almost like a penny. Wow. This is so unusual.
Sip 5. Let's find out what this is.
Yeah, I'm ready. Not much spice to speak of. Even on a bigger sip, it's not assaulting my taste buds. It's still, the flavors are all there, but it's not aggressive. It's not assaulting your taste buds. You can enjoy it. You can explore it. What a nice little whiskey this is.
Over the last few months, we've had a lot of surprising whiskeys. We've spent a lot of time on the East Coast and then the Southeast, which is not where we normally spend our time. And I've come across a lot of whiskeys where the proof has been very confusing, where we're drinking something that's like in the 120s, and I think it's like 103.
Yeah.
And this feels like one of those. Like, it could be low proof, but it could also be like 125. And so I'm gonna have to sit and think for a few minutes about all the details on this one.
You're just kind of drifting off.
I am. I'm like, my eyes are like looking at the scenery, and I'm like, my brain is, the smoke is coming out. I don't know.
Well, you keep doing that. I'm on tarantula patrol. I'm keeping an eye out.
They're the harmless spiders, right?
Sure.
Remember the Brady Bunch did a whole episode on tarantulas?
Never watched that.
Everyone was freaked out. It freaked me out as a kid. But then I learned that they're not, they just look scary. They're not actually like, you see a scorpion, look out for that guy.
It's kind of like when you were a kid and you were taught, like, stop, drop, and roll, and, like, watch out for quicksand. I thought I was going to be on fire all the time as an adult.
All the time.
So far, not even twice.
We haven't even broken, and I haven't really thought it over, but I'm not going to get it. So I'm just going to roll into what I think this is.
Okay, I love it. Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to go Highwire Distilling only because my gut reaction was like, Highwire Distilling. And I have nothing better to offer. Yeah. Now, interesting enough, I don't necessarily think it's a bourbon, and I know they do a rye.
That's a great
guess. But they're like heavy corn for their distillery is heavy corn.
But I think their rye is 100% Abruzzo rye.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna go bourbon.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go Highwire Distilling.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a sneaky one, so I'm gonna go. Feel like it's like 102, but I'm gonna go 117 because I've been so off. Okay.
Really?
No, I'm gonna go 112. Okay, 117. I don't know, just 112 or 117, but I'm gonna go 117 because I do feel like this could be higher proof, but drinks really easy.
Interesting.
Age, 4 years or something.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. I handed it to you because I have the envelope.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess. I love that guess.
Great.
I think that this is their Jimmy Rencourt bourbon.
Okay.
I don't think it's that. It doesn't taste like their rye. It doesn't taste like it's finished at all.
So you're gonna go Highwire. We're doubling down on Highwire. We never do that. I love it.
I know I hate to do it, but I think I have to because that's what I'm getting here. It's so interesting. The cereal now on the nose. A little bit of strawberry too. I'm getting on the nose the further we went into this.
Yeah.
I should probably go with something that's based in a different place, but I'm gonna go with you. Let's go. Let's. You know what? Thelma and Louise, we're going off the cliff together on this one. Highwire Distilling, Jimmy Red Corn Bourbon. I'm going to go 94 proof on this one.
Oh, shoot.
Because it drinks so easy. And I think your 4-year guess is great. I would say 3 to 4 years. How'd we do? Did we fail?
Of course. We always fail.
Yikes. You were in my head from the first sip before we even sipped it.
Yeah. It's ASW out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, okay. We like the ASW. They make good stuff.
It is 50% malted barley, 50% malted rye, 109 proof. So we were not right either. Because if I would have gone 112, but I didn't. I went 117. It is Duality Double Malt.
Wow.
Which looks like a really cool bottle. Like, so he sent us. I mean,
it does smell malty.
Yeah, it's really scripted and Shakespearean looking. It's really beautiful. But I've never heard of Duality Double Malt. I don't know what that is. And RussD, you've stumped us again.
This is 2 in a row from RussD that we have absolutely whiffed on.
It does say double copper pot distilled.
109 proof, really?
109. It was deceptive. My initial thought was it was going to be lower proof. Should have stuck with that 112. I did 117.
A tradition that involves smoky single malt barley. So your smoke presence there, your ashy presence makes sense.
Now it does smell very malty.
It smells very malty. Yeah, see, this is why you shouldn't have said Highwire. You got in my head.
I really screwed you up, I know.
Yeah, you know what, though? I wasn't going to get this one right anyways, let's be honest. Very interesting sample. Thank you so much, RussD. Thanks to everybody for joining us here from Benson, Arizona. I'm going to get out of the sun before I burst into flames from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. RussD. We're 0 for 2.
That was odd.